Welcome to SWAM's online lecture series on the topic Database Management System. I am Muhammadullah Bukhari, working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science at AMU Aligarh. Today we are going into some concepts, constraints, and indexes in a structured queue language, cursor, triggers in database. Get ready to simplify complex ideas to enhance your database skill with me. In the previous session, we have discussed the introduction part in which we have gone through data definition language in structured queue language, view in SQL, and queries in SQL. Before proceeding with today's agenda, I would like to discuss some questions that I had given you in the last class. The first question was, what is the purpose of group by statement in SQL and how it is typically used? The answer is, the group by statement in SQL serves the purpose of aggregating data by grouping rows with similar values in specified columns. It allows for the applications of aggregate functions like sum, count, average, etc. to each group. This feature is particularly useful when you need to generate summary reports or perform analysis based on specific categories or criteria. For example, you can use group by to calculate total sale by product category or to find the average salary by per department in an organization. Next question was, explain the role of order by statement in sorting query results. Provide an example to illustrate its usage. The order by statement in SQL plays a crucial role in sorting query results. It arranges the output of query in either ascending or descending order based on specified columns. This sorting functionality enhances the readability and interpretability of the data retrieved from the database. For instance, you might use order by to organize a list of employees by their salary in descending order, making it easier to identify top earners, to identify top earners or to prioritize results based on certain criteria. Define what is subquery in SQL and describe a scenario where it might be useful. The answer is, a subquery in SQL, also known as nested query, is a query nested with another query. It allows for more complex data retrieval and manipulation by enabling the use of results from one query in another. Subqueries are useful for tasks such as filtering results based on conditions derived from intermediate results or performing operations on subsets of data. For example, you could see a subquery to find customers who have made purchases exceeding a certain amount or to retrieve information about employees who belongs to department with the highest budgets. How does the group by statement differ from the order by statement in SQL? Provide examples to highlight their distinctions. The distinction between the group by and order by statement lies in their primary functions. While group by is used for grouping rows and applying aggregate function to each group, order by is used for storing the result sets based on the specified columns. Group by is essential for data aggregation tasks such as calculating totals or averages for groups of data, while order by is crucial for arranging queries results in desired order, such as alphabetically or by numerical value. For instance, you might use group by to calculate total sales by region and then use order by to sort those regions alphabetically or by sales amount. The last question was discuss the importance of partitioning SQL queries in gaining proficiency with database management. How can you apply the concept learned in the lecture to real world scenario? The answer is partitioning. The answer is partitioning SQL queries is fundamental for gaining proficiency in database management system. By writing and executing SQL queries, individual can develop a skill in retrieving, manipulating, and analyzing data stored in databases. The proficiency is invaluable in real-world scenarios such as generating reports, extracting insight from large data sets, optimizing database performance, and ensuring data integrity. Additionally, applying concepts learned in SQL lectures to practical situation allows individual to develop a problem-solving skills and adopt SQL techniques to address various data-related challenges effectively. Overall, practicing SQL queries is essential for mastering database management system and leveraging data effectively in professional settings. So let let's start the agenda of the today's lecture. As today we will going to discuss example of data definition language commands, index, cursor, and the last will be trigger. So very first in this lecture, I will going to take some experimental touch of DDL commands. So first we will going to see how DDL commands particular practically used. How DDL commands practically used. We will going to see all commands you can see on the screen. First is create table, next is alter table, drop table, create table, create index, drop index, create database, drop database. The create table command is used to create a new table in database. It defines the structure of the table by specifying column names, data types, constraints, and other properties. We want to create a table named student with columns for student ID, name, age, and grade. The alter table command is used to modify an existing table by adding, modifying, or dropping command columns. It allows for structural changes to the table after it has been created. The alter table commands used in different format as we can see on the screen for add, modify, and drop columns as we specified here. Suppose you need to add new column city to our existing students table to store the city information of each student. Alter table student. Add city Vacha 50. The drop table command is used to delete an existing table and all of its data from the database. It permanently removes the table structure and its associated data. Let's say we want to remove the student table from our database. The create database command is used to create a new database In the database management system, it defines the initial structure of the database and its associated configuration setting. Let's create a new database named School to store information about students and their grades. Drop tab database. The drop database command is used to delete an existing database from the database management system. It permanently removes all tables, indexes, and other objects associated with the database. Suppose we want to delete a school database from our system. These examples demonstrated on the usage of various SQL commands for database management system, including creating, altering, and dropping tables, indexes, and addresses. Now let's discuss what is index. So to understand it, let's imagine you are in a library searching for a specific book, let's say chicken soup for a soul. This approach is inefficient and time consuming, especially if the library is vast. However, if the library is organized, perhaps categorized by the starting letter of the book's title, author name, or the type of books, our search becomes much easier. You know exactly where to start looking, which significantly reduce the time and effort required to find the book. Organizing the library allows you to quickly navigate to the relevant sections and locate the book you need. The same concept applies to indexes in databases. Indexes are used to find the row with a specific column, to find rows with a specific column values quickly. Without index, the database management system would have to scan through every row in a table subsequently in a table subsequently to find the desired data. This process become inherent this process become inefficient, particularly when dealing with a large data sets. Indexes in databases can be created using the create index statement. This statement allows you to add indexes to existing tables, enable faster data retrieval, and query performance. You can create indexes on the single column or multiple columns depending on your specific requirements. When creating a multiple column index, the index values are formed by concatenating the values of the specified columns, allowing for efficient searching and retrieval of the data based on those columns. Create index name on table name. There are different types of indexes. Single column index. A single column index is created using only one column from the table. This type of index is useful when you are frequently search or retrieve data based on a single column. The syntax is create index name on table name. Within bracket, we have to write column name. Next is multi-column. A multi-column index, as the name suggests, it is created by using two or more columns in a table. This type of index is beneficial when you are frequently query data based on combination of multiple columns. The syntax will be create index name on table name within bracket column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. The next is unique index. Unique index is employed when you want to enforce uniqueness on the value of a column or set of columns, preventing duplicate entries. The syntax is create unique index index name on table name within bracket column name. First, let's talk about cursor. A cursor in SQL is a database object that enables us to retrieve and manipulate data row by row. It acts as a pointer to a specific row within a result set, allowing us to iterate, allowing us to iterate over the rows and perform operations on each row individually. The cursor is responsible for holding the rows that have been returned by SQL statement. Thus, the PLSQL controls the content area by the help of the cursor. Moreover, this is the advantage of, and moreover, this has advantage and also a disadvantage of cursor we can see on the screen. Advantage of cursor. They are helpful in performing the row by row processing and also row wise validation on each row. Better concurrency control can be achieved by cursor. Cursor are faster than while loop. Next is disadvantage of cursor. They use more resources each time and thus may result in network round trip. More number of network round trip can be degrade the performance and reduce the speed. Now let's discuss trigger. A trigger is a special type of a stored procedure that automatically execute in response to a certain database event such as insert, update, or delete operations on a table. Trigger can be used to enforce data integrity, perform validation checks, or automate complex business logic within the database. To illustrate these concepts, let's consider an example scenario. Imagine we have a database table called a student that store information about students, including their name and grades. We want to calculate the average grade of all students whenever a new grade is added to the table. Advantage of triggers. They are helpful in keeping a track of all changes within a database. They also help in maintaining the integrity constraints. Disadvantage of trigger. They are very difficult to view, which make the debugging also difficult. Too much use of the trigger or writing complex code within a trigger can also slow down the performance. We can achieve this using by a trigger. We will create a trigger that fires after each insert operation on the student table. This trigger will calculate the average grade based on the newly inserted grade and update another table or display the result as needed. In this example, whenever a new grade is inserted into the student table, the trigger fires, calculates the average grade based on the all existing grades and their updates another table with the average grade or display it as output. And either update another table with the average grade or display it as output. This demonstrates how triggers can automate the task and perform calculations or validations in response to database events, making them powerful tool for database management system and automation. So we discussed today data definition in a structured queue language, view and queries and SQL. Now here are some few simple questions for home assignment based on the above lecture on the SQL queries. These questions aim to reinforce the key concept covered in the lecture. The first question is create a stored procedure that uses a cursor to retrieve and display the details of all products in the products table, including their name, price, and quantity. The next and the last question is design a trigger that fires after an update operation on the order tables that automatically updates the order status column in the customers table to reflect the latest order status. As we come to end of today's session, we want to extend our sincere we want to extend our sincerest gratitude to all the participants for their active engagement and thoughtful participation. We hope that the topics covered, including constraints, indexes, cursors, and triggers in a structured queue language databases, we have provided valuable insights and practical knowledge that you can apply in your database management system. Once again, thank you for your participation and we look forward to see you in our future session. Have a great day ahead.